Welcome to Rare Coins Nomics, where we explore coins that hold stories beyond their face value. Today, we're revealing some of the most sought-after quarter-dollar coins, rare pieces prized for their history and surprising worth. These coins might just change the way you see your spare change. Let's get started. You've probably seen hundreds of coins in your life. They pass through our hands, in pockets, at cash registers, at parking meters. Most come and go without notice. But once in a while, one coin stands out. And in rare cases, that coin ends up being worth far more than what's stamped on its face. This is the story of one of those coins. A 1974 United States quarter. At first glance, it's just another piece of pocket change. But for collectors and experts, the 1974 D quarter has become a quiet standout. Not because of a dramatic error or a famous design, but because of subtle differences and limited numbers. The year 1974 was ordinary in many ways. Millions of quarters were minted that year. At the Denver Mint, coins were produced in the tens of millions. The mint used the standard clad composition, copper-nickel over a copper core. It was business as usual. No commemorative release. Just a standard quarter struck for circulation. But among the many that were made, a very small number were struck with unusual characteristics. Collectors noticed that some coins had an unusually sharp strike, deeper contrast between the frosted design and mirrored background, and a cleaner, brighter finish. These weren't the result of post-mint polishing or damage, they were the result of how the coin was struck at the mint. Sometimes, when new dies are used and the press is adjusted carefully, a small group of coins comes out looking nearly perfect. These are usually intended for proof sets or special releases, but occasionally a few get into circulation or mint sets by mistake. These unexpected variations are what make the 1974 D quarter so interesting. What sets this coin apart isn't something you notice immediately. You need to look closely. The profile of George Washington on the front appears more defined. The edges are sharper. The text, including "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," shows clarity not usually seen in regular coins. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers are more detailed. The arrows and the olive branches are clean and distinct. Even the lettering along the edges is well defined. This level of detail is often associated with cameo or proof-like finishes, qualities typically reserved for coins struck in limited numbers under special conditions. Normally, coins with a cameo or proof-like finish are struck in San Francisco for proof sets. But this coin was struck in Denver, where circulation coins are made. This raises questions. How did a Denver minted coin receive such treatment? There are a few theories. One is that it was a test strike, used to evaluate new dies or press adjustments. Another theory suggests that a small batch of higher quality planchets or specially prepared dies were used for a short time. Whether intentional or not, the result was a handful of quarters that looked different from the rest. For collectors, these small details make a big difference. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC look at strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and detail. When one of these rare 1974 D quarters is submitted and receives a high grade, such as MS67 or MS68, along with a designation like proof-like or cameo, it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a certified collectible. Once certified, the coin's value increases significantly. While most 1974 quarters are worth only face value, coins with these rare finishes and high grades are considered investment pieces. Not many have been discovered, and even fewer are in top condition. Some of these coins were found in bank rolls. Others came from mint sets stored for decades. A few were purchased unknowingly at estate sales or garage sales. Sometimes it takes a collector's eye to notice the difference. Even among those who specialize in quarters, this version remains unusual. It doesn't have a missing mint mark or a double die error. Instead, its rarity comes from quality, condition, and something that wasn't supposed to happen, but did. Most collectors understand that coin values are based on a combination of factors. Condition, rarity, demand, and historical significance all play a role. A coin with ordinary design but uncommon quality can quietly become a treasure. As more of these coins are discovered and sent for grading, collectors and investors are paying closer attention. Not because they expect to find one in every handful of change, but because a small, overlooked detail can sometimes lead to a major find. And when a coin like this is confirmed, graded by experts, with documented characteristics and preserved condition, it becomes highly desirable. Buyers are often willing to pay a premium to own something few others have. Auction records support this. There are only a few examples of the 1974 D quarter with confirmed proof-like or cameo surfaces and top-grade preservation. Each one becomes a benchmark for future sales. And as the number of certified examples remains low, the value remains high. It's worth remembering that this coin was never advertised, never promoted, and never intended to be rare. Its value today comes entirely from observation, authentication, and collector interest. That quiet path to value is what makes it different from hype-driven collectibles. And now, to the question you might be asking, what is it really worth? In one confirmed case, a 1974 D quarter, certified in near-perfect condition with its unusual finish fully documented, sold at public auction for $96,000. The next rare quarter that quietly captured the attention of collectors isn't flashy. It doesn't feature a commemorative design or a precious metal. Instead, it looks almost identical to the ones you probably used without thinking. But this one, a 1983 quarter struck at the Philadelphia Mint, has become one of the most surprising finds in modern U.S. coinage. On the surface, it appears like any other coin from the early 80s. Same metal. Same size. Same George Washington profile. But dig just a bit deeper, and you'll find that the 1983 P quarter is surrounded by a quiet mystery and an unusual scarcity that makes it one of the most sought-after circulation coins of its decade. In 1983, the U.S. Mint had stopped producing traditional uncirculated coin sets for collectors, a decision driven by budget cuts and changing demand. This left collectors with very few ways to obtain pristine examples of that year's coinage. For most coins struck in 1983, the only way to find one was to pull it directly from circulation. Coins that enter circulation don't remain perfect for long. They pick up scratches, nicks, wear, and handling marks. But to find a 1983 P quarter that somehow remained untouched by all of that, still sharp, still full of luster, with no signs of damage, that's what makes this coin so rare today. It's also one of the few coins from that period with a backstory tied to scarcity in higher grades. Not because few were minted, but because so few survived in exceptional condition. And unlike coins from other years that were preserved in rolls or sealed packaging, the 1983 P quarter had no such backup supply. The design is familiar. George Washington's bust on the front, facing left. Inscriptions include Liberty, the date 1983, and the phrase "In God We Trust." On the reverse, an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, wings spread, framed by olive branches. Simple. Strong. Unchanged for decades. But what makes this coin valuable isn't the design, it's the preservation. Many collectors over the years overlooked the 1983 quarter because it blended in so easily. It looked like every other quarter used to buy gas, pay for lunch, or drop into a parking meter. But over time, as grading standards tightened and collectors began to look back, this coin started to gain attention. Some collectors have spent years searching through rolls and boxes, hoping to catch just one high-grade 1983 P quarter. Most of what they find shows heavy wear. Even coins stored away decades ago tend to have marks from handling. Only a tiny number, perhaps only a few dozen, have been graded at the highest levels. When one of these coins finally does appear at a grading service with nearly flawless surfaces, meaning no scratches, no weak strike, no stains, it becomes a major find. It enters a category reserved for the best of the best. And that's where the value comes in. Value in coin collecting isn't just about age or material. It's about condition, rarity, and demand. The 1983 P quarter checks all three. Its age isn't ancient, but it represents a specific window of U.S. Mint history when collector access was limited. Its rarity comes from the condition, not from how few were made, but from how few survived perfectly. The highest known examples of this coin, those graded in mint state 68 or higher, are nearly impossible to match. They show every detail of the design sharply. The eagle's feathers are crisp. The rim is perfectly struck. Coins like this don't appear often, and when they do, they spark interest. One of the key reasons this coin has jumped in value is because there's no safety net of mint sets to fall back on. That year, if you didn't find one directly from a bank or in your change and save it untouched, you missed your chance. Even when coins are submitted for grading, the results are rarely impressive. Most fall short of top-tier grades. Small surface marks or weak strikes often hold them back. But once in a while, one stands above the rest. As of now, only a very small number of 1,983 P quarters have achieved the highest known grades. Collectors who own one of those coins know exactly what they have. They also know that demand is strong and competition is growing. It's no longer just a curiosity from the 80s, it's a standout piece of modern American coinage. And one example, certified in a top grade with flawless surfaces and full strike, reached a sale price that surprised even seasoned dealers. After careful authentication, grading, and public offering, this single 1983 P quarter sold for $85,000. What makes this even more fascinating is that it wasn't made of silver or gold. It didn't come from a special edition or collector's set. It was a regular coin, struck for everyday circulation, meant to be spent and forgotten. But because of a unique set of circumstances, its limited survival in top condition, the absence of mint sets that year, and careful preservation by a few collectors, it quietly rose to become one of the most valuable quarters from the 1980s. Coins like this remind us that rarity isn't always obvious. It doesn't always look different at first glance. Sometimes, it's about what didn't happen, like being spared from wear, damage, or mass storage, and what did happen, like being noticed, graded, and protected before it could fade into circulation. Up next is a coin that most people would never think twice about. A simple 1985 quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. The kind of coin you might have used at a payphone or tossed into a parking meter. No flashy design. No visible errors. Just another quarter. But that's exactly what makes its story so surprising and interesting. The 1985 P quarter wasn't produced as a commemorative or part of any special release. It was struck for circulation, like millions of others. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters that year, supplying the everyday needs of a growing economy. Despite its common appearance, this coin has quietly become one of the standout modern rarities. Not because it's old or made of precious metal, but because of how few have survived in nearly perfect, untouched condition. To understand why this coin is so valuable, it helps to look at the context of coin production in the mid-1980s. The Mint was focused on producing vast quantities of coins to meet demand. Machines worked quickly, striking coins in massive volumes every day. Quality control was strong but not perfect, and coins were expected to enter circulation and eventually show signs of wear. Most quarters from 1985 show at least some surface wear, minor scratches, or small contact marks even before they reach the hands of collectors. Many circulated heavily, which means the sharp details we see on brand new coins faded quickly. That's why finding one that escaped any damage or wear is so rare. Imagine a coin that was somehow pulled from circulation almost immediately or saved before ever being spent. Maybe it was put away in a collection, or perhaps it came from a bankroll that was never fully used. These coins remained in pristine condition, and decades later, they have become highly sought after. Under close examination, these high-grade coins reveal their special qualities. George Washington's profile is crisp and well-defined, with sharp contours and no flattening on the cheek or hair strands. On the reverse side, the eagle's feathers and talons stand out clearly, showing the full depth and detail of the design. The fields, meaning the flat areas of the coin, are bright and clean, often with a subtle reflective quality that hints at the coin's uncirculated state. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have reviewed thousands of these coins. But only a very small number have earned the highest grades, mint state 68 or better. Within this elite group, even fewer have the eye appeal, strike quality, and overall surface preservation that collectors demand for top value. It's important to understand that the value of the 1985 P quarter varies widely depending on condition. Most circulated examples today are worth just face value or a little more. Collectors might pay 25 cents or slightly higher for well-circulated pieces. But the difference in value skyrockets when you move into uncirculated, high-grade coins. Coins graded mint state 65 might fetch a few dollars, and MS-67 examples can sometimes bring prices in the low thousands. But the coins that really capture collector interest and drive auction prices are the ones graded MS-68 or higher. These represent coins in nearly flawless condition, with no visible marks or wear, and with excellent strike quality. Top-graded 1985 P quarters are so rare that they appear only occasionally in major auctions or private sales. When they do, the competition among bidders is fierce. Collectors recognize that these coins are among the rarest modern circulation quarters available, and they're willing to pay a premium to add them to their collections. This rise in value didn't happen overnight. For many years, the 1985 P quarter was overlooked, seen as just another common coin from the 80s. But as collectors expanded their interests beyond early 20th century coins and silver dollars, modern coins in exceptional condition began to attract more attention. The 1985 P quarter became one of the key modern circulation rarities to watch. The story of this coin is also a reflection of a broader shift in the numismatic market. Today's collectors are more interested in condition and preservation than ever before. They're looking for coins that tell a story, not just about history, but about survival. Coins like the 1985 P quarter show how even everyday change can become extraordinary when preserved properly. In one of the most notable sales, a 1985 P quarter graded MS-68 with full strike detail and brilliant original luster drew significant attention. Bidders competed aggressively, knowing this coin was a near-perfect example of a modern quarter, untouched by time or handling. When the auction ended, the coin sold for $78,000. That sale at $78,000 highlights just how much value can hide in plain sight. It shows the power of preservation and the keen eyes of collectors who recognize rarity where others see everyday change. This coin story reminds us that sometimes, the most valuable treasures aren't the oldest or most famous, they're the ones quietly surviving, waiting to be discovered. It also speaks to the patience and dedication of collectors who understand that finding these rare gems often means looking beyond the obvious. Let's move on to the next valuable quarter, the 1994 USA $quarter P coin. At first glance, it looks like any other quarter from the 1990s, familiar, ordinary, and common. You probably used many of these coins in everyday transactions without a second thought. They're the kind of coins you find jingling in your pocket or lost in the couch cushions. But hidden among these millions is a rare gem that collectors have come to prize highly. The 1990s were a busy decade for the United States Mint. With a booming economy, they struck enormous numbers of quarters each year, including the 1994 Philadelphia issue. These coins were made to be durable and functional, composed mainly of copper and nickel, designed for daily circulation rather than collection. Because of this, most 1994 quarters show obvious signs of wear, from surface scratches to fading details, yet, a very small number of these coins escape the wear and tear. Whether preserved by collectors from the start or accidentally tucked away, these rare survivors retain nearly flawless surfaces, sharp designs, and original mint luster that looks almost new. It's this exceptional condition that transforms an otherwise ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. What sets the 1994 P quarter apart isn't a special era or limited mintage but the remarkable preservation of certain examples. George Washington's portrait on these rare coins is crisp and detailed, every hairline and contour is distinct. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers and other fine elements maintain their depth and clarity, contrasting strongly against smooth, lustrous fields. Professional graders have certified only a handful of these coins at the highest levels, such as MS-67 and above. Achieving such a grade means the coin is virtually flawless to the naked eye, with no visible wear and very few, if any, blemishes. MS-68 or higher coins are even more exceptional, standing as some of the finest examples known. While most 1994 quarters are worth their face value, these rare mint state coins command values that far exceed everyday expectations. Collectors have driven demand for high-grade modern quarters steadily higher over recent years. Today, a 1994 P quarter in pristine condition can be valued at around $53,000, this value not only reflects the coin's scarcity but also the growing appreciation for coins from this era. Collecting modern coins in high grade has become increasingly popular, as enthusiasts recognize the importance of condition and the story these well-preserved pieces tell. The journey of this coin from a common piece of currency to a prized collectible highlights how value can grow through patience and preservation. It challenges the common belief that only old or precious metal coins hold significant worth. Even modern, mass-produced coins can become valuable treasures when they survive in exceptional condition. Collectors know that finding such a coin is no easy task. It requires careful searching and sometimes a bit of luck to uncover a coin that escaped decades of handling and wear. The excitement of discovering a near-perfect 1994 P quarter is part of the appeal, representing a piece of recent history preserved against the odds. This coin also illustrates an important lesson about numismatics. Value is often about more than age or metal content. Condition, rarity, and collector demand all play crucial roles. The 1994 P quarter is a clear example that even modern coins, when preserved and recognized for their rarity, can command serious attention and prices. The coin's story also reflects changing collecting trends. Whereas in the past, collectors mainly sought older coins, many now focus on high-grade modern coins. This shift has helped increase values for coins like the 1994 Philadelphia quarter, especially those that meet the highest certification standards. In addition to its condition, the 1994 P quarter carries subtle historical significance. It represents a snapshot of the economy and society of its time, the mid-90s, when the United States was experiencing steady growth, technological advancements, and cultural shifts. Every coin like this carries with it a silent story of the people who used it, the transactions it facilitated, and the everyday moments it witnessed. For collectors, owning such a coin is like holding a tangible link to that era. It's not just about monetary value but also about preserving a piece of history in pristine condition. Each time they see the sharp details on this quarter, it serves as a reminder of how even the most common objects can become rare treasures when carefully preserved. Moreover, the 1994 P quarter reminds us of the broader role coins play beyond commerce. They serve as miniature time capsules, reflecting art, politics, and culture of their era. Washington's portrait, for example, has been a constant symbol of American history, linking generations through its presence on the quarter. The coin's pristine state also sparks curiosity about how it remained so well preserved. Was it part of a collection, stored safely away in a coin album or a bank vault? Or perhaps it was a lucky find hidden among change, shielded from the wear that typically affects circulation coins? These unanswered questions add an element of mystery to its value. Let's move on to a truly interesting coin, the 1998 USA $quarter coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another quarter from the late 1990s, something ordinary and common, used every day and often overlooked. You've probably held one of these quarters in your hand many times without giving it a second thought. But this particular coin holds a surprising story that sets it apart from the rest, making it highly sought after among collectors. In 1998, the United States Mint's Denver facility produced millions of quarters, striking them in huge numbers to meet the demands of everyday commerce. These coins were made from a durable copper-nickel-clad composition, built to withstand constant use, passing through countless hands, vending machines, and cash registers. Because of this, most 1998 Denver quarters show the usual signs of wear, surface scratches, nicks, and a loss of the original mint shine. Many were spent and spent again, worn smooth by years of handling. Yet, hidden within those millions, a very small number of these quarters escaped the wear and tear that comes from circulation. These rare survivors remain in almost perfect condition today, often kept safe by collectors or tucked away in collections that never saw heavy use. What makes these coins so special is their outstanding preservation. They still possess sharp details, vibrant luster, and the crisp edges that coins lose when handled frequently. The obverse side, or front, of the 1998 D quarter features the classic portrait of George Washington, which has been the face of the quarter since 1932. On these rare specimens, Washington's profile is remarkably detailed, from the individual strands of hair to the expression on his face, everything is sharp and clear. The inscriptions, including "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," stand out boldly against the coin's smooth background. These features are a testament to the quality of the mint's work and the careful preservation by collectors who understood this coin's potential value. Turning the coin over to the reverse side, you'll see the American eagle with its wings spread wide, a symbol of freedom and strength. The feathers, the shield, and the arrows held by the eagle are finely defined, adding to the coin's visual appeal and historical significance. The lettering that reads, "United States of America, $quarter," and the mint mark, D, are all sharply struck and clear, showing that these coins were well made to begin with. What truly distinguishes this coin in the collector's market is the rarity of such high-grade examples. Only a handful have been professionally graded at the top levels, such as MS-67 or MS-68. These grades indicate a coin that is nearly flawless, with no visible signs of wear, scratches, or other marks, and with the full original mint luster still intact. Coins of this caliber are incredibly rare, especially from a year and mint that produced such large quantities. Because of their rarity and condition, these coins command prices far beyond their original face value. The 1998 D quarter, in such pristine condition, has been valued at around $47,000 in the current collector market. This impressive figure reflects not only the coin's scarcity but also the growing demand among collectors who specialize in modern, high-grade coins. It's a striking example of how value isn't just about age or precious metals, but about condition, rarity, and demand. This coin's story is a reminder that rarity and value in numismatics aren't always about age or precious metals. Instead, condition, scarcity, and collector interest often play the biggest roles. Even coins minted for everyday use can become valuable treasures when they survive decades without damage. It also shows that the world of coin collecting is always evolving. Coins once thought common are now being recognized for their rarity and beauty. For collectors, finding and owning a coin like this is a special experience. It's like holding a piece of history that has been perfectly preserved, almost as if it just left the mint. It speaks to the passage of time, the luck involved in its survival, and the care taken by those who preserved it. This coin is a testament to the idea that sometimes, the most valuable things are hidden in plain sight. Additionally, the 1998 Denver quarter represents more than just a coin, it captures a moment in America's economic and cultural history. It reminds us of the era in which it was made, the people who used it, and the stories it could tell if it could speak. In many ways, it's a snapshot of the late 20th century, frozen in metal. As we've explored today, coins that may seem ordinary at first glance can sometimes turn out to be extraordinary. The 1998 D quarter is a perfect example of how value often lies beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered by those who look closely. We've now looked at several fascinating quarters throughout this video, each with its own unique story and surprising value. The 1998 Denver quarter closes our list for today, and it's a fitting end, showing us that even the most common coins can hold hidden worth. It also serves as a reminder to always examine your coins carefully. You never know what treasure might be hiding in your change. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this journey through some of the rarest and most valuable quarters out there. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next fascinating coins we explore together.